Roll call. Susan? Here. Joe? Here. Gary? Here. Jeff?
Here.
Fred? Here. Ellie?
Okay, can barely hear.
You gotta turn your.
Ellie, missing. And Brenda missing. And Patricia, supposed to be here.
She's come. I see her.
She's here. Okay, we have a quorum. Let's get started. Our first order on the agenda is oral communications for items that are not on the agenda. Are there any hands raised in schoolhouse? Any comments here? Teresa? No comments? Fred, anybody online?
We've got one person online, but no hands raised.
No hands raised. If you're online and you would like to make a comment, raise your hand.
Sorry, I'm driving. I just wanted to listen, and I appreciate all the things that you guys are doing. So thank you for volunteering for our beautiful town. This
Thank
is
you,
Rita.
Yeah, we know your voice. Thank you, Rita. Okay, then I'll go ahead and close oral communications and we'll move on to old business number 3A. Let's approve our minutes from the January meeting. We did not have a February meeting, so we're approving minutes from the January meeting. Any edits, omissions, changes, deletions? Yep.
Have two small corrections. It says over here, it talks about Cervantes Trail at Cresta Vista and Minoka. The only part of that trail that is not, the Minoka side is fine. It's just, I'm sorry, it's the Cervantes side at Minoka, not at Cresta Vista.
Okay.
Oh, but you said Cresta Vista.
Yeah, no, that's where it crosses the street, right?
Oh, no, I
It's on the
understand that.
motorway.
I was just trying to make the point that it's fine when it crosses the street.
Right, oh, yeah, so not until it gets on to the Minoka side.
Yeah, that's
matters.
the bad part with the
Right.
steps, so I
That's
just
right.
thought I would say that. And the other
Okay.
small thing is when you mentioned Helen Shaughnessy from All Trails, we need to correct how her name is spelled, or it probably doesn't make a huge difference, but
Yeah.
I can give you, do you need the correction or?
Sure.
Okay,
Let's
um,
go.
it's SHAUGHNESSY. No wonder why you spelled it wrong. It's a tricky name. There you go.
Can't read your writing.
Oh, okay. SHAUGHNESSY.
Thank you.
Good old Irish name. Okay.
Late.
That's it.
Okay.
There's one more.
Oh, go ahead.
4B, I don't think that the town and the ENZA committee are meeting annually to discuss the ENZA trail. I don't think it was annually, the meeting. So I would just strike that. 4B.
Yeah, the town might not, but the Anza Trail Committee, whoever that is, might meet. I don't know if that's a real entity. You have to ask Mary. Yeah, no worries. So you had a question on 3C, is that those steps that you and Susan were just talking about, town or Westridge, those are Westridge steps. Now, the water that runs over to them is the town water.
That's why the question was there. Yes.
So take your pick. Okay, any other changes? So now we'll go ahead and call for a motion to approve the minutes from our our January 21st, 2026 meeting, with a second.
Can I second?
Yep, so Susan
Susan and
moved,
Joe.
Joe second. All in favor? I see, you're not in favor? You abstain. Well, okay, everybody's in favor. Jeff abstained. Thank you, Joe.
Procedurally, how did it get corrected? You passed, Fred used to do it, right?
I would, if it's small things like this, I would just do it, or you can just do it and then resend it actually, you can just send it to the town clerk.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and copy me. Yep, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And
Joe,
you're
you got to
doing
turn on your mic
minutes,
too.
but just so you know, we're only required to take action minutes days. You're taking them the old school way, which is great. But I just want you to know.
So, yeah, so if there is action to be done,
There's only action that we take, action to be done, exactly. If we make a recommendation or if we take action on a specific item that's on the agenda, you don't have to do every little thing anymore because it's video.
Yeah.
Video. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. You do however you want. I just want to make sure you.
Thank you.
Okay. My computer will be fast. Okay, item 3B, the trails maintenance update. We've got a report attached from Public Works. It looks like 20 hours worth of work. I know that a lot of the trails are getting overgrown right now with this really hot weather last week and the ground's still pretty wet. The grass is growing very quickly. So what I suggest is if you see a trail that's overgrown, use PV Connect so they can get it on their work log. I know that at some point they'll mow, but like Fawn Trail right now is just completely gone.
The same for the end of Palmer down to the where Crescent that is. And that's a little bit important because you can't see the top of the trail there.
Mhm.
So, and it's dry because I walked it to see. So anyway, but I did send something in.
Yeah, this is a exceptional year where we had lots of rain followed by a lot of.
So I have a question about that. Does maintenance have some kind of a schedule? I've never seen one because the thing is, if we knew for a fact that they were going to be mowing Minoka Trail like within the next week, I wouldn't bother, sending anything in. But Minoka Trail is getting a little bit obliterated too. So
Yeah, they do have a schedule and it coincides with after the wildflowers bloom, which I don't know if they're on schedule or not this year.
right, but I
Uh,
mean, I guess what I want to say is, wouldn't it be great if we could see the schedule too? If it
Yeah,
were-
we can ask for it. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Although I think it's also helpful if we see a trail right now that's overgrown.
Yes, right.
They want to get to it earlier, simply because it's easier, the shorter the grass is.
Of course.
Easier it is.
And their spare time, yeah.
But, it's up to them. And I will ask for the schedule so that we all know what they're doing. Yeah, it looks like they basically did the minimal amount of work here with just water bars, which, I guess February is an okay time to, I think water bars should be done in December, but, yes, Patty.
Is this planned maintenance or just maintenance that was submitted?
This is planned maintenance and maintenance that was submitted. So for example, a fallen tree would have been, water bars are planned maintenance. We have to do those every year.
Because I noticed several trees had fallen on Toyon and had been removed. And
Yeah, sometimes, and this came up at the council meeting when I was giving our priorities. Sometimes residents get out there and move them before the town has a chance to. Now, I know nothing about that.
It happens particularly in the Coal Mine Ridge area.
Okay, so that has been received. We do not have to take action on that.
Okay, somebody has their hands up.
Rita, your hand is up for public comment on the trail maintenance.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I can't
I
see
have,
hands up there.
sorry. Well, I have a good friend that I walked with the other day, and he was telling me about how San Mateo County is coordinating volunteers for trail maintenance. And, and sent me a link to who I needed to send the message to. Are we interested in getting free volunteer help to help with our trail maintenance? Since the town doesn't have money to do that.
It's complicated, Rita. Yeah. So on some trails, that kind of thing works, like at the ranch, for example, where there's just one property owner to coordinate with. But say, for example, Shady Trail, where you have 20 different property owners to coordinate
Yes.
with. So it's not a one size fits all kind of solution. If you have a resource and you'd like us to take a look at it, we'll certainly do that. For example, we're using the Trail Center to do, I would call heavy maintenance on Toyon Trail this year. They're volunteers, but the ranch, they've coordinated with the ranch and with the town to get insurance, and that works. That's great.
Yeah, and And how is all this going to change the trail maintenance? In that priority thing that they had on Monday, they talked about the property owner then having to maintain, the trees and I guess the trail in front of their homes instead of it being the responsibility of the town. How is all that going to change? Thanks.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that discussion, so I don't know if I can comment on it. They might have been talking about the easement, the road right of way easement. But I'll have to listen to it and get back to you on that, Rita. Okay, any other comment on this item? Okay, great. We'll move along to item 3C, the horse fair update. Everybody, May 16th should be on your calendar. May 15th for setup.
Yeah, we'll probably set up the corrals for the horses on the Friday, and then, of course, the fair on the Saturday. And anybody who's able to help out, even just to walk around and help people, that'd be great. Or to, man the stand by the trails and paths booth and tell people about the, where they can get information on trails. That'd be fantastic. So just let Ellie or me know. And then I think we're pretty close to being said. I feel like there was something I needed approval from the committee for, but I don't remember what that was. So sorry. So, because we submit everything to the town, of course, for approval. So, and, oh, I know what it was. We were awarded a 10,000 budget for this event, which we won't use all of, but we have to just approve in the committee that that is okay, that we all know that that's what we have. That's from the town.
Okay, so you want us to accept that money?
Yes, please.
Okay,
That we know the parameters of the budget.
okay.
I kind of know where we're going to be. Yes. So
Close to that, after that?
I'm,
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, thanks.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and make a motion that we accept the $10,000 horse fair budget from the town, followed by a second.
A second.
I'll accept the motion followed by a second. So I'm not motioning.
Oh, I move.
Thank you, Fred move and Patty second. Fred move, Patty second.
Yeah, I was thinking of what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I apologize. This is a habit that I learned a long
That's
time
fine.
ago, but
I appreciate it.
thank you. Okay, and that should suffice, Barb, what you need? Okay, great.
And
Thank
I
you.
was gonna add that, and we'll spend the money wisely.
Any public comment on the horse fair? No hands are up.
Can I add one?
Really
little
looking
thing?
forward to it.
I wanted to just add one little thank you to Rita, because Rita has been running the Sock Horse Manufacturing booth, which is sold out every year, sold out not for money, but anyway. And so Rita, we so appreciate it, because I hear you're doing it again for us. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
If you have old socks that you want to get rid of, this is the place to bring them.
Exactly.
And broom handles or. They're like
It's
how we-
wonderful. No, not broom handles. They're too long.
I have a saw. Yeah, thank you, Rita. Is great. It's a very popular event. My kids loved it last year, and yeah, we thank you. That's great. You're doing it again. Okay, if there's no public comment on that item, we'll go ahead and move to item 3C, the Portola Terrace update. So I'll try to give you the best update that I can. D. Yeah. Did I say D?
No, you can see.
C. Thank you. It's early.
We do this to each other.
3, yes. 3D, Portola Terrace update. So from what I understand, Stanford has submitted for several different permits, one to remove the trees, and 2 to do some baseline grading on the property. We saw the fence go up, and then the fence came back down because it hadn't been issued yet. But I think they're probably pretty close to issuing those 2 permits. once they do, you'll see the fence go back up. I know they're working in conjunction with conservation, with regards to birds. They have their own consultants and things, so there's a lot of moving parts to that. We will be, we're invited to do a, trail walk on next Wednesday, the 25th, I believe. And there, it's not an open invitation. You know how Stanford is. They're very specific about who gets on their invitations. But since we have a subcommittee that's been working on this, I think it's fair for the subcommittee to attend. The subcommittee is Fred, myself, and Joe. So if you guys want to attend, they also said they're going to have 3 different walkthroughs, although they only put out one date. So I'm a little confused with regards to that. But if you're interested in attending, I will forward you the email and we can get you guys on the invite list.
Do they have time yet? You're not sure.
It's noon to 4. Noon to 4 on Wednesday. I will only be able to be there from noon to 2.
That's about the same. That's my limitation also.
Your limitation also, yeah.
I can make that.
Okay, great. So I will send you to the.
I have a question about that because we did do this trails walkthrough originally. Fred and I
Like
did it
5 years
together.
ago.
Has anything changed? Have they actually listened to some of the, comments?
Well,
that
that's
we
what we're
gave?
gonna find out, because I haven't seen the new set of plans. Building and planning has not distributed a copy of a set of plans that show where the trails are. Hopefully we'll get that on Wednesday or before Wednesday. I know that they're asking us to look at the newly marked out Alpine Trail. So that tells me that they have some idea of where they will move Alpine Trail. We asked them to move it inward from the road. So they have some idea where they would like that to go. So that will certainly be a priority for us during the walkthrough. I don't know that anything else has changed since the original design. The trails are marked, so somebody went through and marked them. I hope they cleared the poison oak. It's coming out right now. So we'll know. This is not the end. I think this is just the very first step to have our committee take a look at what they've marked out in relationship to the plans, the latest set of plans, the plans that they have submitted for these recent permits. And if we have comments, we will certainly be able to make those comments. So what I'm going to do is after that walk, we'll agendize it on our next meeting, at our April meeting, and we'll have a talk about it. And as a result of that discussion, we will make recommendations back to either Planning Commission or Town Council.
Thanks.
Susan.
So just to reiterate, not the only people who can attend are the subcommittee? Is the
Yeah, they're
subcommittee?
really trying to limit this. In fact, they were only inviting me and Craig Taylor.
Oh
But
my
I think they
goodness.
they confused this step in the process with a different step that's going to happen later on. Stanford entered into an agreement with the town to, I don't want to call it negotiate, but to take a good faith look at additional trails on the wedge post construction. And that good faith discussion would include one trails committee member and one town council member.
Okay.
This step that we're going to go through on Wednesday did not have such a restriction as far as I know. So I think the right thing to do, because we've had 3 sets of eyes on this, is to have all those folks back there to walk through. If the whole committee would like to go, I can certainly ask.
No, I've worked with Stanford a lot, Dwight Crowder Trail, and they're very, very strict about how many people. So if it's just the subcommittee, I think you should leave it that way, and we'll take your input after the fact.
So I'm after this meeting, I will send them an email and
Okay.
forward the information to you guys. I won't take no for an answer. I'll just simply let them know that's what's going to happen. Because I think it's important.
Gary, if there's any opportunity, I'd like to do it as a learning experience. I can agree to keep my comments to myself, but I'd like to see it.
There probably will be opportunities for the public to go up and see it. So I will let you know when I hear about that. Like I said, they said there's going to be 3 different dates to do this walkthrough. They've only given us 1. So I don't want to speculate, but perhaps they want to get an initial, some initial feedback before they bring in the second round and bring in the third round of people, which may include the public. So, but I'm positive there'll be a time to get up in there, walk around. Okay, do we have any comments, public comment on item 3D, Portola Terrace?
I'm looking forward to your report because it seems to be a lot of things have been cleared out onto that property. And, you know, the property is looking very naked, including the trails. So, as for, you know, bushes and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to the report at the next meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, and there's a website, there's a page on the town's building and planning department's website that is kept up to date with regards to the status of this project. And Sarah, the town's building and planning director, has done a great job at keeping that up to date with relevant information. So if you're interested and you want to get the latest, I suggest going up there and taking a look.
And
So
I just want to say that I have been looking at that, and I did notice that despite not having permits, different things had been done and continue to be done. So it's only as good as the information that is shared by Stanford. So I'm looking forward to your eyes on the road report. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any other public comment? No hands raised. More online, Joe. Thank you. Then we'll move on to item 3E, committee priorities. So on February 25th, I was invited to the town council's meeting to present the Trails and Paths Committee's priorities for the next year, not really calendar year, but I guess a budget year, which starts in June, if not mistaken. They did a different format than when I last did this. Maybe it was the same when Fred did it, but there was just 2 committees there, us and the Geological Safety Committee. So they let me talk for well over a half hour, which was really cool, instead of the 10 minutes I used to get. The meeting was recorded and is on YouTube. So if you want to listen to it, that would probably be the best way to get fully informed as to how and what I presented. But in a nutshell, I basically talked about 4 high-level priorities, which is safety, which is trail maintenance, trail preservation, and trail system expansion. And those are very high-level priorities. Of course, safety is kind of overarching, and it really fits into everything that we do. But within those priorities, I was able to work in the Horse Fair, the Stanford project, the Hawthorne's project, the guys' capital improvement list, of PV Connect for maintenance, and a lot of other things, including easements and how they work, missing easements, what easements mean in terms of what you can do on trails, what usages you can apply to a trail. So it was a pretty informative discussion. We got a lot of good questions back, and I would encourage you, if you're interested, to listen to that. And if you have any questions, just I can agendize this again at our next meeting, talk about it. But I will take questions right now if you have them. But you might find a better answer up on the recording.
I'll just say the AI summary of your portion maps to what you just said. So that's also a very nice, easy way to go. Understand it.
Thank you. Any other thoughts or questions?
Well, one thought I have is that, boy, when we set our priorities out like that, it'd be certain nice to do a follow-up at the end of the year to our successes. To, and therefore highlight if anything is missed and needs to be readdressed.
Yeah, so next year, when we give our priorities, there will be a time to do that. So this year, last year, 2025, when Fred gave them, obviously, the wedge was on there, Bushra was on there. And so this year I got to give a update or status of where those projects are at. So there's a natural, revisiting of some of these projects as we give the priority. Some things, though, we don't, like the capital improvement list. I didn't tell them exactly which projects got fixed and which ones didn't. Unfortunately, with the town's current financial situation, the reality is nothing's getting addressed on the capital improvement list, and I made that clear to them. But yeah, I think that's a good idea, and I think next year when I give that presentation, I'll maybe break out a section to talk about, what's been completed, what's in process, and what's new. And that might help.
So, Gary, you mentioned something about expansion of the trail system.
Right.
So what, are you referring to something in particular?
Well,
or-
yes, it's Stanford, would
Oh,
be
that, okay,
Hawthorne's.
okay. So
Um,
those two things. I mean, there wasn't
those two
anything
things.
else, just the,
And that was a great time for me to work in a discussion about the easements and, what we've learned about them and how they work. I let them know that there's easements out there that were never built on. And I didn't go into depth about where they are, want to put anybody on the spot or make anybody feel uncomfortable, but there are. So there's opportunities, through new subdivisions, through, partnerships with like Mid-Penn, maybe partnerships with Santa Clara County to, create new trails, maybe for the purpose of connecting trail systems or just for providing whole new systems like you're going to get at Stanford and Hawthorne's. I couldn't stress enough the need to interconnect our trail systems. So when we do expand the trail system with a new chunk of trails, it should be interconnected. And that, I think, rings loudly, for the review of the Hawthorne's and the Stanford project, because right now they're kind of standalone systems, and I think we would do well by the residents of the town, the people who use the trails, to interconnect them in a way that they would have a much better trail user experience. Interconnecting the neighborhoods is in our general plan, part of the trail to pass on. So, and I'll just mention briefly, because I think this is important. Under priorities, I can talk about this, but we can't get into the project itself because it's not on the agenda. But the Hawthorne's project is being heavily reviewed and processed by the Mid-Penn folks without really any input. There was a working group that participated in it last year. We weren't really represented on that. I think Sarah Wernikoff, our liaison, was involved. But I don't think we actually had a member from
I was on the ad hoc committee,
You're down the ad hoc. As resident or Trails and Paths?
Trails and Paths.
Okay, then we were.
But that work completed actually almost a year ago.
Yeah, that's long
Yeah.
gone. The meeting they just held this past week, and I know they hold a lot of meetings and they do a lot of presentations, and they make a career out of creating slide decks. Is all great, and that's their process, and that's up to them. But at some point, that's going to get thrown over the fence to us, and then we'll have a chance to weigh in on that. So I just want everybody to know that it's not on our agenda and will not be on our agenda until that time when it gets thrown over the fence. as maybe a conditional, use permit application or a review, from the building and planning department. I'm not exactly sure. And at that point, we'll be able to make recommendations to planning commission or town councils, what we want, what we would like to see, you know, what is good, what is not good, what they need to do, and so on and so forth. So, like, for example, I wouldn't feel comfortable going to that meeting this week, representing Trails and Paths, because under what capacity would I be doing that, right? I guess I could have went as a resident, but, you know, again, that, I don't know what impact that would have had. But when we sit down as a committee, and we agendize it and we hold a public hearing on it, then I think we will be able to make meaningful comments that will be taken into consideration by the planning commission before they approve that project. So I just wanted to say that, and that's about all I can say because it's not on our agenda. Any other public comment on committee priorities? Okay, then I will wrap up public comment on that. We'll move to 4A. We really have no new business at this point, but if anybody has any new business for our meeting next time, please email me and we will get it on the agenda. I apologize for not being available for our last meeting. I talked with Patty and I didn't think it was fair to ask her to run a meeting for the very first
The next time.
time as a vice chair, but I have met with Patty and we've gone over all of this. I think she's ready. Should the opportunity present itself again. So yeah, our next meeting is April 15th. And with that, I will move for a motion to.
I move to adjourn.
Oh, one more.
Other business? Did we do other business yet?
There is no other
Well,
business.
there is. I wanted to just raise something because I didn't see it on the agenda. And maybe I should have raised it during priorities, but I wanted to give you all an update on Eagle Trail. Or do you not need that?
What
Because,
you should do is, you know, send it to me as an item to put it on the agenda.
Okay.
Because really what I thank you. I would love to have an update on that. I know you guys are working hard on that. I would like the public to know that we're going to discuss it and have a chance
Okay.
to.
it's been on the agenda before, so it wouldn't be the
Yeah,
first time.
we could do what I did last year was just have a standing agenda item for all of our priorities. And that way we could talk about Eagle Trail. We could talk about the wedge.
You know, I suppose you could have talked about it in maintenance.
What, Eagle Trail?
Yeah.
No, it's like a project. I mean,
Big maintenance.
it's like a huge,
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go back and open up item 3. If there's no objection from the committee, I'm going to go ahead and open up item 3B, trail maintenance, again. And Susan?
okay, well, I might have already reported on my walk with Helen Shaughnessy from All Trails that I had maybe 6 weeks ago. And she was willing to take on the project.
Just,
Oh, go-
she's from Trails Center, Joe, not All Trails.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. The app, All Trails.
That's like the worst. Yeah. Yes, Trail Center. And they would be willing to take the project on. They would be working on approximately 6/10 of a mile of trail. I'm still waiting, though, to hear back from her. She was hoping to schedule it by late spring, early summer. And they plan on doing all the work in one day. So hopefully it will happen because that trail, I don't know if anybody's been on that trail lately, but it's getting closer and closer and closer to the creek. And I'm hoping that equestrians know not to go on that trail. Okay. So that's basically my update. And as I said, she's supposed to issue kind of a detailed report of what they're going to do. I haven't seen that yet, but I also CC'd her so she could be in touch with Robert Burt also. So there you go.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you, Susan, for that update. I will go ahead and add a old business item for this project, on our agenda, as a standing item until we are.
Okay.
And that way we can. Are there any other standing agenda items we would like to add for priorities that are, I know there's another project in the ranch. I think there are two that were going on with Trail Center.
Yes, I think something on Toy on Trail. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's the toy on one.
Yeah.
y- We could have just standing subcommittee updates too.
Yeah, I know we have, I have to go back and count the subcommittees we have right now. And the one that I was on to look at, you know, Alpine Trail extensions probably doesn't need to exist anymore. Let me think about that, because I think I would like to make it as clear to the public what we're going to talk about. So listing it by project, I think would work a little better that way. But I think you're right that normally you would just have a update from each subcommittee, name the subcommittee, and that kind of does the same thing. How many subcommittees do we have? We have Stanford. We have.
We have Hawthorns.
Alpine. We have Hawthorns. Any other ones that anybody remembers? We don't do a subcommittee for Horse Fair.
We did have, Jeff, you were looking into the financing, but that's probably done at this point.
And I will look to see what it takes to disband the two subcommittees, the finance and the Alpine Road. And then I'll figure out whether I'm going to do this by project or by subcommittee. I'm kind of now thinking maybe by subcommittee is better, but I'll figure that out.
You know, I think we already did, but we had the e-bike one too.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, we can close that one out too, I think. I mentioned e-bikes at the council priority update. Okay, thank you. That's some good stuff. Any other business or new business or additional agenda items? Going once, going twice?
I move that we adjourn.
Second? We are adjourned. So April 15th, 2026, 9 a.m. in the schoolhouse.